Righto guys, welcome back to another video. As you can see, we're in the garage, and the reason for that is because today we're doing a little bit of an install on the T7. Now, Nice CNC have been kind enough to send me their pannier racks with grab handle combo, and I'm going to throw them on and see what they go like. So I'm going to do a little bit of an install. For those of you out there that might be considering getting these ones in particular, I'll show you what they sort of go on like. But after we've got them on there, in a couple of days, I'm going to head out for a bit of a moto camp and actually see what they perform like, see how they handle the weight of panniers that actually have stuff in them, and sort of get back to you guys with a bit of feedback as to what they like. But first things first, let's have a look at what comes in the box and I'll show you all the parts associated with it. Right, so these are the racks themselves. Pretty straightforward. There's 3 mounting points, so you've got these two here. They're the ones that will go onto the side of the bike at the top near your seat, and that's where the actual grab handle is going to go to as well. That is the right hand side, and then you have this mounting point down here. Comes with different size spaces and brackets and everything to make it all work. And then you've also got these are the grab handles. These ones are pretty cool. They feel like super sturdy. They're surprisingly light, but I feel like having these grab handles on there, they're kind of essential for just moving the bike around, especially if you get stuck in a rut or something like that. They're just good to hang on to be able to move your bike around and tie stuff down onto as well. So we've got those bad boys, and yeah, they come with spaces and everything as well. So enough chit chat, let's get these bad boys on the bike and see what they look like. I've just done a little bit of a mock-up with it on the bike, and it obviously sits that way on that side, and noticed this sort of underside here is pretty close to my paintwork there. Now, I don't mind if the paintwork gets a little bit scratched and stuff like that, like it's an adventure bike, right? But if it does end up sort of rubbing on there, especially on the corrugated roads, and it shakes, it'll probably rattle and be a little bit loud as well as sort of damage my paintwork. So I've put some strips on here. This is just like a 3mm thick adhesive foam padding that I've put on there. They do this small one in the middle, but it's probably not really enough, so it's up to you guys whether you want to or not. But I would suggest just maybe putting a little bit more on there, just to kind of keep it away from your bike enough, if you still sort of want to protect your paint, and you don't want it to be too noisy in case it does rattle on those dirt roads. So first things first, we want to get this bracket off, get it out of the way so we can start the install. And then you want to get your bottom bracket. Now you can marry this up to the other part of the rack first if you want, because it can be a little bit tight in there to get a spanner in, but I can get an open ender in there, so it's fine. And then you also make sure you want to check they have right and left on them for which side they go on. And then it goes between the frame and the pillion footrest. All right, so next thing we want to do is make sure we've got our spaces all sorted and ready to go, which go up in there. And since we're putting on the handrail, we need to sort out what space is going to go where, and just get that ready to go straight in over the top of the rack. Just do that one up loosely, and then get your next spacer sorted. Next thing we want to do is get our bolt in here so that the bottom part of that rack's fastened. Now this is where it can be a little bit tight, but I feel like there's enough space in there to get a spanner, so it's up to you guys whether you want to put it on before or after. Now with that one all tightened up, we can go around to the rest of them and make sure they're nipped up nice and tight, and that's it, finished. Righto guys, I've just taken her for a little bit of a ride. I just wanted to see if any of this would rattle, which it didn't, so that's always good. But man, I've got to say, I didn't actually think that I was going to really like these that much, but the more I look at them, once they're on there, I'm starting to love them. They're so streamlined. Look at that down the side of the bike. They fit in so snug. Yeah, there you can see where we've got our bigger spacer and smaller spacer and stuff like that. They're super sturdy, like they feel real strong. They look really good. They still give that bike the kind of more streamlined tail end that I like, as opposed to some of those bigger racks like the ones I had on previously. But yeah, honestly, the more I look at them, the more I love them. The next thing to do is just sort of get them out there and give them a little bit of a test. Righto guys, time to give this a little bit of a wrap up and tell you exactly what I think of these nice CNC pannier racks with the grab handles. So we've just come back from a bit of a moto camp where I threw my saddlebags on here. It was about 10 to 15 kilos in total of load that went over the rack, so I feel like that was enough weight, especially with the riding conditions. Just general everyday sort of adventure riding, what a lot of you guys, or most people in general, I think, are going to do with their bikes and potentially with these racks as well. So I feel like I gave them, you know, a good enough test out, especially with just one outing. Seeing what they go like over a longer period of time is really going to tell the tale. But yeah, to be honest, my impressions, I was ready to rip them to shreds. I pulled them out of the box, and when I first looked at them, I was like, nah, they're going to be too lightweight and the material's too thin. They're going to flex too much. And to be honest, I was flat out wrong. I am super impressed with these things. The more I look at them when there's nothing on the bike, the more I love the look of them. The functionality of these grab handles is awesome, especially, like I said previously, installing the bike, moving it around, having somewhere good, solid on the back of the bike to, you know, throw a hand on and help maneuver the bike's very, very handy. And then, you know, obviously for carrying a pillion, I have my wife on the back of this thing. Hanging on to those is super handy, pun intended, and tying stuff down as well. You know, there's a very good solid amount of real estate there to tie, throw some straps over and stuff like that. So yeah, when I first seen them, thought they're going to be crap, gave them a proper run over the course of 2 days, about 300 or 400 kilometers. Yeah, I'm thoroughly impressed with them. So one of the first things I done when I got home was I actually took one side of these racks off because I wanted to see how well my plastics, that panel there, the paintwork fared after having the load pushed down on it. It's obviously going to flex a little bit, but I put those foam pads under there, which you would have seen in the install, and when I took this off, I'll run a clip over the top now so you can see what it looked like. It was just dirt, just dust and dirt, and as soon as I ran my hand over the actual panel, it just disappeared. Like, there was no marks at all. I was pretty impressed. Take that with a grain of salt for what it's worth, because like I said, we did only do one outing in them. It's not like I've been running these for a year, so time will tell how they hold up. But so far, yeah, I would have thought there would have been more marks on my panel and paintwork than that, and there's not, so pretty happy about that. So yeah, final thoughts on these things. If you're looking at a set of panniers to sort of use exactly how I'm using them or have used them, to just protect your paintwork a little bit, give a little bit of tying down options on the back of your T7, protect that paintwork and sort of, you know, hold your panniers on a little bit better. You know, I'd seriously consider these ones. I'm going to throw a discount code up in the description so you guys can, if you are going to have a crack at these and you want to get them, throw a discount code up there, which is going to give you 11% off, not just these pannier racks and handrails, it's going to give you 11% off store wide. So they sell a whole heap of stuff for T7s, and not just T7s. They sell a whole heap of different stuff for a heap of different bike models and that. So yeah, if you are going to buy something for not just a T7 or another bike, make sure you use that discount code. Give you 11% off, save you a bit of cash. But anyway, guys, that's my first impressions and I guess final thoughts on these things. Like I said, time will tell how they hold up, but so far, ridiculously impressed with them, and yeah, very happy. So as always, guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.